this is a 30 amp charge controller which can support up to a 390 watt panel. The one we have is a 315 that peaks at 400, so this will do just fine because it's probably very hard to get the maximum, because also Bimble Solar, which is where we get all of this from, they do kits, and the kit with that solar panel has this charge controller, so it's absolutely fine doing it this way. This is an MT50 controller, and it's got a little cable that you can plug into there, and then it's just, yeah, you can just see what's going on, what's coming in, what's going out, what's in the battery. And we're just using this cable that was left over. I can't exactly remember what from, but excess cable. We haven't had to buy any cable because we stripped out half of it. This is one that was still left and put it in the shed. There was loads of that from the split charger. And going to this meter thing that had like 10 wires, as I said in the last video. And this is just, I think, 8mm cable, and I'm just using it and just chopping the old connectors off with some wire cutters. It's very hard cable there. And then using this knife to just do this. And yeah. Okay guys, I am now in the engine room again, and so here is the charge controller. So here's the MT50, and here is our other MT50 with the other charge controller. Now this is a 40 amp and it has a 50 amp trip switch, and this is a 30 amp and it has a 32 amp trip switch. So you need a trip switch in line with the positive, quite close to the actual charge controller itself, as you can see they both are. And it wants to be just over, it's I think 1.2 to 1.5 times the ampage of the charge controller itself. So 32 does for this one, and because this one's 40 amp, you could go anywhere up to a 60 amp trip switch, because that's 1.5 times the ampage of the charge controller itself. So we got them both just wired into this chock block here, which is rated at 60 amps, and then they go down these 8mm cables again. So yeah, that's all cool, that all works. And then the solar comes in here in this panel. There's two panels, two 230 watt panels, which makes 460 watts, which come into here. Then a 315 watt panel that peaks at 400, the bifacial one. Any link, I've got a video to Bimble Solar which I'll put up in the card up here, and in the description I'll link Bimble Solar's website so you guys can check it out, because it is this is where this whole solar system came from, even the Victron inverter, which we can now use because we've got decent solar. As you can see, we're on 14.4, as you can't see, we're on 14.4. Where's focus? There's focus, there you go, 14.4. And yeah, we're about to hook this panel up because we now just put it on the roof. We had to grind back the things that hold the punting posts for boats. You probably won't know, most of you, it's kind of irrelevant, but now we can fit the panel on, and it's going to come down with these two cables, and it's going to go into this charge controller right here. We bought 30 meters of cable because this panel is going right at the front of the boat. So we've got two cables coming down here, and we've got two 230 watt panels. Now these panels are wired in series, so the positive goes to the negative, and then the spare positive goes there, and the spare negative goes there as well, and that's what makes your positive and negative. This panel, which is much thinner, as you can see, and it's a monocrystalline instead of a polycrystalline, so it's more efficient. That's why in the same size panel you get twice the watts, which is pretty mad, because this is no bigger than those panels, yet it's twice the wattage. So this has two cables coming out, which is at the moment still under there, and we're going to be bringing them down with the 30 meters of cable we've got, and they'll just go straight into the charge controller. There's 30 meters of cable because it's positive and negative, so it's about 15 meters. But yeah, I'll be back once we've done that. I'll probably film this bit. So this is what I mean, we had to grind off these, because you should have a plank in the middle and then another one. So I'm going to time lapse the next bit, which is just wiring up, basically cutting some 15 meter lengths of 6mm cable, which is what Bimble Solar provide with the MC4 connectors that come on the solar panels themselves, so you don't need to wire them in. Okay, so if you look here, we've now got the input of the solar cables coming in, and we have to label them because they're both black, so you have to label which one's positive and negative in case you need to unplug them. And then we've got, if I get that out of the way, 0.1 amps coming in. So here's the new system, and yeah, like I said before, it's pretty simple. Basically the solar comes in, one into there, one into there, then it comes out, goes through a little trip switch. This is a 50 amp for a 40 amp charge controller, 32 amp trip switch for the 30 amp charge controller. They both go down into a chock box which goes to the massive batteries down there that we installed in the last video, which wasn't really a how-to, it was more just us installing a new AGM batteries into a crazy messy boat system, because there is the engine, see the gearbox down there, and then you can have appliances hook off, but we haven't got appliances hook off. They come straight off back. In fact no, they come off the starter motor, which was a really weird thing, but you know, they do. And then obviously you've got this meter cable that comes round and goes to here. This one just goes to there, and then for 240 volt, this is going through another chock block, not the same one because that would be way too much. This goes to the battery, comes into the inverter, and it's also grounded there to the chassis there. And here, this goes off into this multi-way, so you've got some power back here. Then it goes up into a trip switch, which cut anything that goes wrong. Comes down, goes across into that plug socket, and then it loads of inline plug sockets as you go down the boat. And then the 12 volt power, basically this goes down to the starter battery, and everything else, fridge, shower, water pump, right lights, left lights, and then this light here. That all goes off and out to the boat, but goes to the starter motor, and then the starter motor connects to the batteries. Odd way of doing it, but that's how it's done. Okay, so I hope this video is more of a how-to than the last one, because the last one was literally just, it was just a total mess. There's still some of the cables left over, as you can see there. But if you did like the video and possibly learn how to install or how roughly it works, and the fact that you need a trip switch is a bit bigger than the charge controller. Yeah, also another tip is the charge controller should be as close to the battery as possible, but you can have the solar cables as long as they want. So that's a useful tip to know. But yeah, if you like the video, I would much appreciate a thumbs up, and any questions that didn't make sense in this video, drop them down below in the comments, or anything you just want to ask me or just say to me or whatnot, drop a comment down below. Might appreciate that. And subscribe if you're not, and hit the notification bell, because then you'll know when my next video is. And the next video is one that I've already recorded, which is my new tilting solar panel. So that one is also solar related. So yeah, also the solar panel up there is just laid there at the moment, but I'll be doing a mounting solar panels video soon. And if you want to know how to do MC4 connectors, I'll show you when I do my mum's build, because there's a useful tip to know, otherwise you'll do it wrong. So yeah, that's enough of me rambling on. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you tomorrow.